Man United target SHOCK Onana replacement as Amorim eyes bargain. Manchester United are interested in Botafogo goalkeeper João Victor, a second source has now confirmed. The Red Devils' number 1 Andre Onana has recently become the subject of discussions after making back-to-back mistakes against Nottingham Forest and Victoria Plzen. Despite having enjoyed a decent season up to that point, questions were swiftly asked again of the Cameroonian, who needed a bit of time to find his feet and his form when he initially joined last year. His errors have even given rise to some transfer speculation, though coach Ruben Amorim gave Onana a vote of confidence after Plzen. Still, the names of potential replacements are getting bandied about. Man United want Victor on Sunday. Botafogo goalkeeper João Victor began being linked with a surprising move to Man United, with Tottenham and other European clubs also said to be interested in the Brazilian. Botafogo, for their practice coming off a spectacular season, having recently claimed their first ever Copa Libertadores, and in winning Serie A for the first time in almost 30 years just a short period later. Caught offside has now seemingly confirmed Man United's interest in Victor, claiming that he could be had on a bargain deal worth not more than just €10 million. With number 2 Altay Baynder facing an uncertain future, the 28-year-old could be brought in to provide competition for Onana and potentially even to replace him down the line. Even at just €10 million, Man United may have to think twice about signing him, considering that they will need all available funds to make January transfers, given their precarious position about financial regulations. Bringing in a new goalkeeper is not a pressing priority, so the money may be better spent elsewhere, such as for a left-back or an attacking player. Man United prepare 1st January sale, as 8 clubs keen. Manchester United are ready to sanction the January sale of Victor Lindelof, according to a report. The Swede is almost a forgotten man at Old Trafford, and with his contract expiring at the end of the season, he is surely on his way out. Lindelof has made just 8 appearances so far this season, playing 294 minutes. The 30-year-old has primarily spent time on the bench and the treatment table this term, though he made his return from a recent setback in the triumphant Manchester Derby on Sunday. Lindelof came on in the final minutes to shore up Man United's backline and see out the Red Devils' 2-1 comeback victory over Pep Guardiola's struggling Premier League champions. It was the defender's first appearance under his former Benfica teammate Ruben Amorim, but their reunion is unlikely to last long. Lindelof open to January exit according to Caught Offside. Man United are open to cashing in on its centre-back hack in January, in what will be their final chance to generate any kind of fee for their Euro €35 million signing. Lindelof himself is also willing to move on in the winter, and he has no shortage of suitors, with 8 clubs specifically mentioned in the report. His admirers include Premier League sides Newcastle, West Ham, and Everton, as well as a host of high-profile Serie A clubs. Man United is trying to use the January window to raise funds for potential reinforcements, with the club reportedly operating on the limits of financial regulations, so sales are required before signings can be made. The report claims that Lindelof could fetch Man United as much as €8 million in January, though he could also just as well wait until the summer and leave the club after 8 years on a Bosman. Revealed, Man United determined to force Marcus Rashford out of the club as part of cultural reboot under Ruben Amorim and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, with January transfer ideal. What happened? England international Rashford was, alongside fellow forward Alejandro Garnacho, left out of Ruben Amorim's squad for a 2-1 derby victory over Manchester City. The Red Devils boss said of that decision, "It is important, the performance in training, the performance in games, the way you dress, the way you eat, the way you engage with your teammates, the way you push your teammates." The bigger Picture Rashford is considered to be falling short of the required standard, as he scratches around for form once again, and The Guardian claims that he is now being put up for sale. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Ineos co-ownership group insist that there can be no passengers in another rebuild at Old Trafford. Did UK know W? Sporting director Dan Ashworth has already been relieved of his duties, with Rashford seemingly next to head for the exits. Amorim is said to be on board with the decision to part with the 27-year-old attacker, who has 7 goals to his name this season to engineer a shift in culture throughout the club. Tell me, Amorim, the consensus is that, since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013, too many players have been allowed to coast at Old Trafford and are not held accountable for their actions, with a succession of coaches paying the price for inconsistency on the field. What next? Ratcliffe believes previous bosses have not been given the support they need to deliver change, with the plan being to reverse that trend. Rashford will now be made available in the winter window, although his £365,000 a week contract means that only a select group of clubs could afford to buy him. Man United must get rid of moping Marcus Rashford in January. Out of favor forward simply doesn't have what it takes to be part of Ruben Amorim's Old Trafford revolution. The Red Devils didn't miss the academy graduate in the derby, and there's no sense prolonging an unhappy marriage for another 6 months. It doesn't look good for him, Roy Keane told Sky Sports after seeing Ruben Amorim leave Marcus Rashford out of his squad for Manchester United's trip to the Etihad Stadium on Sunday. I think a move for Marcus would suit the player. He hasn't been great recently. Amorim has seen something he doesn't like. To make matters worse for Rashford, United pulled off a stunning 2-1 victory over Manchester City without him, as Amad Diallo solidified his status as the best winger at the club. The dazzling Ivorian won the penalty that Bruno Fernandes converted to level the scoreline, before producing a brilliant run and finish to complete a remarkable late comeback for the visitors, who are now within sight of the Champions League places again. Amorim's ruthless decision to drop Rashford paid off. To say the 27-year-old hasn't been great recently is a massive understatement, and a transfer away would also suit United, ideally at the earliest possible opportunity. Rashford is not a beloved academy product anymore. He's a waste of space and doesn't deserve to be part of Amorim's revolution at Old Trafford. Rashford will keep letting Amorim impressed on his reasoning for dropping Rashford and erratic Argentine forward Alejandro Garnacho before kick-off at the Etihad. Amorim said to Sky Sports, "I pay attention to everything, the way you eat, the way you put your clothes to go to a game. Everything. I make my evaluation and then I decide." The suggestion is clear. Both men have fallen short of the manager's standards for commitment and general effort in some way. If it was just a tactical call, or based purely on current form, they would have at least taken a place among the substitutes. Amorim was even stronger on Rashford's case after the game, as he referred to the extreme cost-cutting measures across all levels of the club taken by Ineos chairman Sir Jim Ratcliffe over the past few months. "You understand, for so long we try something with Rash, it doesn't work," he admitted to the media. "Let's continue to do the same thing or try something different. It's as simple as that. They have to work hard. Today they trained hard. It was not a disciplinary thing. Next week, next game, new life. When we want to change a lot of things, when people in the club are losing their jobs, they have to fight for their place in the team." Amorim is not the first coach to demand more fight from Rashford. He will continue to let the Portuguese tactician down, just as he did Erik ten Hag, Ralf Rangnick, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Jose Mourinho. Rashford has used up all of his 9 lives at this point, and the constant speculation over his mentality is just serving as a distracting sideshow.